Hello, everyone. In continuation to strategic management introduction, now we'll see what are the various objectives of strategic management. First one, identify opportunities and adapt resources to exploit them. For example, if we consider Amazon, they acquired Whole Foods market to expand its grocery delivery services and capitalize on the growing demand for online grocery shopping. That may be considered as an example for this particular objective. The next one is to create opportunities by stretching resources and competencies of the organization and capitalize them. For this, we can consider Google example, Google expanding into self-driving cars, leveraging its expertise in artificial intelligence and machine learning. Third one is enjoy competitive advantage. Again, we can consider the example of Amazon's scale and logistics capabilities, allowing it to offer faster and cheaper shipping than competitors. Next is to identify critical success factors to meet the needs and wants of the customers. We may notice Domino's Pizza focusing on delivery speed and convenience to meet customer needs. To monitor and remain responsive to the demands of key stakeholders. We may consider example of Microsoft, which is engaging with the developers and the customers to improve its software and services. Next one, to develop a creative and innovative attitude to think strategically. We can consider Tesla's innovative approach to electric vehicles and sustainable energy solutions. These are the objectives of strategic management. Now we will understand what do we mean by organizational genomics. It is basically a metaphorical application of genomics concepts to organizational behavior. Means you can say genomics is the study of a person's genes, the genome, including interactions of those genes with each other and with the person's environment. We can compare organizational culture to a DNA. Individual employees' strengths and weaknesses to their genes, employee engagement or their motivation with the gene expression, changes in organizational structure or any processes, we can consider it to be genetic mutations, and environmental influences on organizational behavior to epigenetics. Organizational diagnosis or organizational assessment we can consider to be genome mapping. So organizational behavior is about how people may be motivated together to work together in more effective ways. Thus, the primary responsibility of a manager is to develop and maintain an effective communication system in the organization. Then we will understand what do we mean by a strategic leadership. Strategic leaders must strive towards maximizing shareholders' value by balancing the profit growth and profitability of the organization. We may consider in India in itself, we can consider Mukesh Ambani, Ratan Tata, Narayana Murthy of Infosys, Asim Premji of Wipro, Sunil Mittal of Bharti Airtel. They all can be considered as strategic leaders. So a strategic leader is seen as an individual upon whom strategy development and change are seen to be dependent. Strategic leaders' characteristics, they are visionary. We can consider Mukesh Ambani as an example. He is a visionary behind the Jio's Digital India initiative. Communicating the vision to others within the organization. So all the corporate leaders or strategic leaders, They do this on a regular basis. Identify and articulate the business model. Sense of commitments toward the vision. Able to recognize and empower subordinates to make decisions. So, for example, if we consider the communicating the vision, again, Narayana Murthy communicated his vision of making Infosys a global IT leader. Similarly, if you consider recognize and empower subordinates to make the decisions, same thing, if you consider Narayana Murthy, he empowered leaders like Nandan Nilekani to make decisions. So next is emotional intelligence. To estimate someone's psychological capabilities, Goldman in 1998 used a term called emotional intelligence. So what are the attributes? Bundle of attributes are self-awareness, to understand one's emotions. Then you can say self-regulation, means think before acting, motivation, passion for work beyond money or status, empathy, social skills, means friendliness with a purpose. So these are some of the attributes of emotional intelligence. When we talk about organizational change, any business environment change should happen. It shows one's commitment to the kind of growth and evolution it takes to stay modern, relevant, and competitive. Countless factors makes change inevitable. For example, new software, new marketing practices, updated business processes, full-on restructuring. These are some of the examples for organizational change. What are the different organizational change methods we have? We have nearly around 8 or 9 methods. We'll see some of them. First one is the quarter 8-step process. It is the process steps are create, build, form, enlist, enable, generate, sustain, and institute. When they say create, means it is about creating an urgency for the identification of the need of a change, and then establish a sense of urgency, and then communicate the importance of the change. That is what is about create talks about. When you talk about build, it is about building the team, where you assemble a diverse team of influential stakeholders, ensure that the team members share the vision, and then empower the team to lead the change. Form a strategic vision. Here, when you talk about form, it is about the vision, strategic vision you are forming. So you develop a clear, compelling vision, define the change objectives, and then identify the key strategies to be adopted. When you talk about enlist, you are actually enlisting others, means communicating the vision and strategy, engaging stakeholders and build support, and then address about any resistance which comes across. When you say enable, it is about enabling the action, means removes any barriers which are to the change. Any barriers to the change needs to be removed. Then generate, it is about generating short-term wins, means let us identify all the quick wins, then celebrate the successes, and then which will build your momentum. When you say sustain, it is sustaining the acceleration, means consolidate all the gains, continuously do some improvement, address any challenges. So when you say institute, it is about instituting the change, means make change strict to the organization, means embed all the new practices, ensure that long-term sustainability is there. So these are all the 8-step process of Kotan. Next is McKinsey and Company's 7S framework. Here we talk about style, skills, systems, structure, staff, strategies, and shared values. So here, when we say style, it is about the style of the leadership, how the leadership approaches, how it influences the culture, motivation, and performance. When you say skills, it is about the capabilities of the people in your organization, their competencies, their abilities, how that can enable organization to execute the strategy. When you say systems, it is about the processes which are there, like the formal and informal processes and procedures, which will enable efficient operation and decision making. When we say structure, it is about the overall organization structure, organizational design and the hierarchy, and then you define clearly the roles, responsibilities, and the relationships. Staff, it is about the human resources which are there in the organization, people and their skills, their competencies, their motivations, which are necessary and essential for implementing our strategy. Again, strategy is basically about the direction, overall plan to achieve the goals and objectives, and it also defines how to compete and differentiate ourselves. When we say shared values, it is about the culture, the core values and principles guiding the organization. So you define the organization's identity and purpose, basically the mission, you can say. Next is Kurt Levin's change model, which consists of unfreeze, change, and refreeze. 3 steps. You can say 3 stages. Stage 1 is unfreeze. Here, you prepare the organization for the change, and then you create a sense of urgency for the change, communicate the need for the change, and then identify and address the resistance. That will be done in the stage 1. In stage 2, when you say change, actually you are going to implement the change. Then you are transition to the new process from the old and to the new structures. Then provide your people the training and support, whatever they require for the change to happen. Monitor the progress. Third stage is the refreeze, means stabilize the new state, reinforce new behaviors, ensure that sustainability is there or not. You have to ensure sustainability, evaluate, and also if any requirements are there, adjust those things. So that is about Kurt Levin's change model. Next one is ADKAR model. In this, the first point is awareness, means understand why we need the change, the need for the change we have to understand. Recognize the business reasons for the change, understand the impact on the organization. When we say desire, you have to build the commitment to the change and then address resistance and concerns. Knowledge, here we provide training and education to our employees, share best practices. When we say ability, it is about practicing new skills and then receive coaching and then get the feedback based on the coaching and other things. Next is reinforcement, the last stage, where we celebrate our successes and then continuously we improve also. So that is about your ADKAR model. Then Kubler-Ross model. Here the first point is about shock, means the initial response when you try to bring in some changes. Shock will be the initial response. Difficulty in processing the news and all those things. When next is the anger, means the resistance which comes from people, resistance to the change or any other aspect, mainly the resistance to the change. When you say bargaining, it is about attempting to regain the control, means attempts to negotiate or find some alternatives, somehow seeking a way to undo the situation. Depression, it is about the feelings of sadness, hopelessness, etc. So basically, you try to emotionally confront with the reality. Finally, you come to an acceptance stage where you acknowledge and accept the situation and accept the change, and then moving forward with a new perspective. That is about Kubler-Ross model. Next is the Satir change management model, which has let status quo, means it is about comfortable with the existing situation and don't want any change, means you are showing some resistance to change in this stage itself initially. Resistance, you actually become defensive, means you feel threatened or uncomfortable, so you show your denial, anger, frustration, etc. Third stage is chaos, where there is a confusion, uncertainty, the old patterns no longer work. So next is integration, means you try to reorient yourself, new perspective and understanding, beginning to adapt to changes, whatever it is. Then finally, new status quo means accept and comfort with the new situation, new norms and patterns are established. The last one is about William Bridges transition model, which starts with the ending. Ending basically means letting go. Then letting go in the sense, recognize the need for the change, accept the loss of old situation, manage any separation and disorientation. Neutral zone, you do the transition. It is basically a transition period where you explore new possibilities, develop some new perspectives. Still, there will be some uncertainty and ambiguity while doing this, while you are overcoming or while you are crossing this particular stage. Next is new beginnings, where you embrace the change, establish the new routines, and then integrate yourself into the new environment. So these are the different change methods which are possible. Whichever suits for our organization, we can think about using that.